All right, Skope TV, good evening. This is Wednesday. We have got Mark Mcgrath of Sugar Ray on the phone. Mark, what's happening?
What's up, Mike? How you doing, my brother?
Oh, man, great to hear from you tonight. For the people at home, we got Mark on the phone. Sugar Ray is back after a 5-year hiatus, and they're coming back with the new album, Music for Cougars, out July 21st. Is that right, Mark?
You got it, my brother. Gotta give some music for the Cougars when they're searching for the prey out there. You know
I love it. I love it. So let's get right into this interview because I know you're super busy these days. So what you been doing lately to help promote the new CD?
You know, we've been traveling around a bunch, playing a few radio shows in America, and this week I've been doing a lot of press in New York, and we got, let's see, Regis and Kelly tomorrow. We're doing Conan July 14th, and we're going to be on the road with Fastball through the month of August into September. So we're grinding it out, man. We're having some fun doing it as well. It's great to be back in the mode of being in a band, promoting and playing live shows. It's really fun.
That's awesome. What a tour. Sugar Ray and Fastball. That's perfect.
Yeah, you know, we were lucky enough to tour with them and the Goo Goo Dolls back in '99, and we just had such a great time. And Fastball is a real musicians band. You know, they're straight out of Austin, Texas. Those guys are unbelievable musicians and great songwriters. And you know, you'd be surprised how many songs you know by Fastball.
Oh, for sure. Now, did the title of the album come from actually dealing with cougars in your time off?
It's kind of, yeah, it's funny to say that. It's kind of like obviously tongue-in-cheek, wink-wink kind of title. You know, we've always kind of tried to have somewhat humorous titles and, you know, usually poking fun of the situation where we're at. You know, when Fly came off their album Floored, we named the next record 14 minutes, 59 seconds, alluding to our, you know, possibly having one hit and our fleeting fame. Fortunately, that didn't turn out. And Music for Cougars basically has its origins in, we played a live show at an outdoor mall in Hollywood called The Grove, and a buddy of mine looked at me and said, dude, all your fans are Cougars, you know? And I'm like, bing, Music for Cougars, that's great. And I'm getting a little older. I believe maybe our fans are too as well. I'm trying to hang on to the youth like everybody else is. And we just thought it was kind of a funny title, you know? It's kind of appropriate for where we're at. And it certainly gets a reaction for people. And, you know, now we have, you know, we don't have 6 floors of Atlantic Records working publicity for us anymore. So anytime we can prick the ears of the listeners and let them know that we got a record coming out, you know, it's really in our favor.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you've created some of the biggest hits, period, like Fly and Every Morning, and the list goes on. When you write, do you have a formula, or do the hits just kind of happen?
I think that's one of the interesting things about the band is that it can come from anywhere and any place. I mean, we all play multi-instruments, we all write music, and we all write parts of the songs. Of the songs you've heard, Fly, Every Morning, Someday, When It's Over, those were truly a group effort. I think all 5 of us touched those songs in some manner. You know, someone will come up with a chorus, I'll come up with, say, a bass part or something. So it can truly come from anywhere, which is great and frustrating at the same time. You know, it's really hard to get maybe records that are cohesive or have anybody write in the same sort of, you know, time frame. You know, I would love to have a Johnny Resnick from the Goo Goo Dolls in the band, or a Noel Gallagher who could write all by themselves and have a record done. But, you know, the Sugar Ray process is a little different, which makes it glorious and frustrating at the same time.
Now, you guys took a nice long break, about 5 years. What happened that brought the guys to a point where you wanted to create music again? And did you guys stay close during the hiatus?
Well, the kind of misconception of it is that we broke up when I was at Extra, you know, and quite the contrary. We played about 30 to 40 shows a year. We did a lot of summer fests and festivals and things like that, so we were still active as a performing band. We just didn't really write a lot of material, and we had an opportunity to write a song for the Surf's Up soundtrack, which was a big animated movie, and that was in 2007, and that was a lot of fun. It kind of piqued our creative interest again, and a buddy of ours got a label deal with Fontana Universal called Pulse Recording, and about May of 2008, he said, hey, you guys want to write a record? You guys still seem to be together. You seem to still genuinely like each other. You guys, how about writing a record? So we had no new songs. We had nothing written, and we said, yeah, let's do it. You know, it's a small deal, low-pressure situation, and the perfect situation for us, you know. It's not looking at it as a commodity or product. There's no pressures to sell, and it was purely for the love of writing music. And after 21 years of being in the same band with the same members, that's what you do in a band. You write music, you create, and you perform. And so, you know, though we weren't really active in the studio for the past 5 years, we were still playing, and it was just sort of a natural progression to write a record. It kind of came about organically.
That's awesome. Now, up-and-coming bands look at Sugar Ray and probably think maybe that you guys came up easy. But to let the people know, how long did you struggle and hustle before you really tasted success, before Mark Mcgrath knew, okay, music is now my career?
Well, it's all kind of, it's all relative, we were a band for 6 years. We started in 1988 before we got signed in 1994, which, when you're in your early 20s, your teens, that's a lifetime. 6 years before you get a bite, we were even considering, I said to myself, I'll give myself 1 more year, and if we don't get a record deal, that'll be it. And I think we signed a record deal 3 months before my time lapse I gave to myself. So it really was a lot of grinding out. It was a lot of, playing gigs to nobody, all those situations and just grinding it out. So that was our first sort of bit of success where it became my job, And then in 1997 we had the hit Fly, and I'm like, wow, this might actually last a little while. And then 1459 followed up Fly with a couple of hits, and I said, you know what, this might be my life's work. So it was sort of relative, and there was sort of a bunch of sort of indicators along the way that let me know, wow, I might be doing this for a while. But, now look at the music industry, and it's kind of imploded, and, we certainly haven't made enough money or comfortable enough to never work again. So it's interesting in trying to find out what you can do with your rest of your life while still doing the passion of your life. It's kind of it's been an interesting dynamic to navigate.
I always give Sugar Ray props for how you guys have always merged turntables, hip-hop with your guitar riffs and vocals, just the whole combination. What made you try that, and did you think it would catch on like it did, that so many bands would start doing it?
Being suburban kids out there in Orange County, we bought a lot of hip-hop. I think 80% of all hip-hop is bought by suburban kids, so that was always in the back of our oral landscape and the subconscious as well. And, when we started in 94, there was 4 of us, and we said, it'd be really great to sort of add some sort of hip-hop foundation. I love the drum loops, I love the heavy beats, and I love the paradox of having acoustic guitars with heavy drum loops, Sublime was starting to do that in 95, 96, and they were doing it really well, very authentically, and we knew Sublime pretty well, and we decided to reach out to their producer, David Kahn, and David was really instrumental in creating that sound, taking a heavy drum loop, creating a loop, and then putting acoustic guitars and harmonies around it, and, not a lot of people were doing that back then. We certainly weren't the first. Sublime was doing it, and I think Butthole Surfers did it, but we really enjoyed the sound of it, and we took it to the next level. And then you get to the point now where hearing a drum loop and like an acoustic guitar, you'll hear that on a Shakira record, for Christ's sake. So it really sort of became a staple of American radio in the late 90s and certainly to today as well. So we weren't the first ones to do it, but we were certainly one of the earlier ones to do it, and there was a lot of help involved sort of creating the architect of that sound.
And you certainly did it well. Now, on the new album, you've got some amazing guests from Rivers Cuomo, Dean Butterworth, and I was so happy to hear from Collie Buddz, too. How'd you decide that you wanted to hook up with those guys and who you were going to collab with on this album?
Well, what's great is that, they all kind of came out organically. I'm huge fans of all these guys. They have to be friends, too. Donovan Frankenreiter, we were able to write a song with, who's a protege of Jack Johnson. And just an incredible guy. He's a surfer from Orange County, and we've been friends with him a long time. Tim Pagnotta from Sugar Cult, who I didn't know, but was a huge fan of his band, was working in the same studio as us, and we collaborated a song. Rivers Cuomo, God knows why he let us record one of his songs. I still don't know why. It's almost like Sugar Ray was so uncool that we were cool to him that he let us record a song. And then Collie Buddz, man, I've just been a dance hall fan forever. I was... I was lucky enough to get Supercat on Fly because I was just such a huge fan. And the same kind of thing happened to Collie Buddz. You get to a certain level in your life, and just by attaining some sort of success, you can reach out to some of these people. And Collie was a long shot. We had a buddy out in L.A. who was a real sort of ambassador of reggae, a guy by the name of Nate Wayne, and he knew Collie, and it was just, we sent him the tape, he was in Europe, he laid down in his hotel room, we sent it back, and he really cracked the code on that song and made it incredible. So, and we've been fortunate enough to collaborate with so many people. From people from KRS-One to Run DMC to Willie Nelson to the Wilson sisters. We've truly been lucky. We've used any sort of fame we've had to just be fans and be able to work with people.
That's awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We got Mark Mcgrath with the new album, Music for Cougars, out July 21st, Skope TV.